Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to our show tonight. I am Alvin King, your host of He Said, a look at the world from a seasoned Black man's perspective. Happy Pride Month to everyone, wherever you are. If they are celebrating Pride in your city, please be safe, because just please be safe. There's so many things to be safe about. Please be safe, but try to enjoy yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. And if you're in DC, there's a lot of marches going on outside of our Pride parades and all the festivities surrounding that. There's also the March for Our Lives. That is here this weekend, ladies and gentlemen. And so if you're traveling through DC, pack your patience, take the subway. Don't drive, because if you're from out of town, you'll get a ticket and you'll be mad and it could end your whole weekend, on a different note. So I've warned you, but welcome to our show tonight. We are so glad that all of you are here. And speaking of DC, I grew up in DC, as an African American male, as you can see, and I looked for platforms like our show that would allow members of my community to talk about a wide variety of topics, from managing your health, building wealth, recognizing, we recognize Black-owned businesses and Black-owned and operated businesses, and we highlight authors, singers, and scholars to have a conversation about what impacts us. And I'm grateful for this platform to share our story to a wider audience. And tonight, our show is another very special show because a very special guest who is a revered, respected, insightful, and generous spirit in the gay community has touched people around the world with humor, love, and candor. And I cannot forget wit. We have one of my icons on the show, the one and the only Rayceen Pendarvis, the Empress of Pride, is here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. And I urge you to go to www.rayceen.com if you want to know more about Rayceen, because we're going to talk to Rayceen about a lot of stuff, but you want to go to Rayceen's website and learn more. But we are so happy that Rayceen's schedule is clear, because Rayceen is busy for Pride, y'all. I ain't lying. Rayceen is busy. But anyway, speaking of busy, I need to bring on one of the busiest men that I know. He's my right hand. Ladies and gentlemen, you meet him every week. Vash Bodhi, can you come on in here, please? Hey, Vash.
Hey, Alvin King. How you doing?
I'm doing good. In your words, I'm bobbing and weaving. Like this bow tie is trying to bob on me tonight. I'm saying stay up, but the bow tie is trying to act a fool. But you know what? Live show, do what you're gonna do, baby. But good to see you, Vash. How's your week been?
Bobbing and weaving. Lots of amazing stuff has been happening. So I'm extremely happy about that. But as always, it's Friday. I get to hang out with you. We get to talk to some cool people, hang out with our audience. I'm excited and, glad to be here.
Hey, look.
And you look good. We haven't seen you in a bow tie in a minute.
Yeah. It's been that kind, and I'm gonna do this. It's getting on my nerves right now, but thank you. And it's wood.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just hanging there like most wood does. But okay, that's another story. This is a family show. We're gonna keep it.
I'm not gonna say nothing.
We're gonna keep it on that. but hey, look, did you get a chance to see the hearings that was on TV last night? Talking about the insurrection on January 6th. Did you get a chance to see that?
You mean the opening ceremonies of the?
Did you say opening ceremonies? Yes, you did.
It was the opening ceremonies. They were like, and this is what we got. And here are the Trump family. And here is the Barr family. And here are the attorneys. I mean, they're like, look, get prepared, y'all. And here's a video.
And you know what? I can and I can't, because you are absolutely right. However, it was so well produced. You know what I'm saying? I had to give them that. But of course, they didn't tell us nothing that most of them. America's with minds. They didn't tell us anything that we didn't know. Okay, we know who started it. We know who coordinated it. We know who. We know everything about who made that day happen. But it is good to keep it in our minds right now. And I think they did a good job of presenting that to us last night.
Absolutely. It was a refresher,
Mm-hmm.
and pictures and actual testimony of people, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah,
you said, everything that they said and showed us, we knew from when it was unfolding as it was happening. But here's a refresher, consolidated, nice, and it was a good amuse-bouche.
yeah. And I don't know, I know you're in Philly, but in DC, they had monitors up in different parts of the city where people could sit outside and see it. I'm talking about screens like, like summer. It was like a summer screening of a film or something. They had all of that. So they're very serious and intentional about what they're doing,
Mm-hmm.
to make sure that it stays in our minds. But I'm looking forward to the next one. I think it's 6 more. They have 6 more that they're going to do. Mm-hmm.
That's a lot, especially coming off of the Depp Heard trial, where people have gotten so used to seeing like testimony and cross examinations and things on those lines. I think the timing is perfect for it.
Yeah.
The world needs to see it, and those who are not showing it or watching it are suspect.
Yeah, yeah. But again, surprise, not. But look, hey Monica, hey Rose, thank you all for joining us tonight, and thank everyone who's watching us tonight that we cannot even see. We
Yes.
appreciate you guys joining the show. We really do. So I got to tell you, I am so excited about our special guest tonight because trying to book this talent for an interview is like calling Biden and saying, Biden, what you doing for dinner? Okay, so this our special guest, Rayceen Pendarvis, is so incredibly busy. I'm just glad that the universe aligned it for her to be here with us tonight. I'm excited to have this conversation with Rayceen tonight. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Absolutely. People don't know, like when we are trying to get somebody on the show, the amount of effort that sometimes it takes. And Rayceen Pendarvis is up in like the 99th percentile of desire and attempt to make this happen. So if you were tuning in right now, you need to just like this show just for the mere fact that it is happening.
Right. Hey, Sean, thank you for joining the show tonight, all the way from North. No, is it New Orleans? I think it's Sean. Sean is from New Orleans, right? Is that right? I think Sean's from. Welcome to the show tonight. Well, if you're ready, I want to go ahead and get Rayceen on the show because we have some very important questions that we want to ask Rayceen because Rayceen's words are like E.F. Hutton. And if Rayceen don't know it, okay, we're gonna let Rayceen know that Rayceen's words is like E.F. Hutton tonight, ladies and gentlemen. So if we can move on, if you don't mind, Bosh, I want to go ahead and introduce Rayceen. Um, hold on for a sec. See, look, that delivery was so good. The producer thought I had already introduced Rayceen, but no, we're gonna do it the way we do it. Rayceen Pendarvis, known as the High Priestess of Love, the Queen of the Shameless Plug, the Empress of Pride, and the Goddess of DC, is an event host, interviewer, moderator, commentator, panelist, inspirational speaker, social media personality, freelance columnist, community advocate, former ANC, that's Advisory Neighborhood Commissioner, parent, self-described gender blender, and lifelong Washingtonian. Rayceen was one of the founding members of the DC chapter of the legendary House of Pendarvis and was involved with organizing what would later become known as Black Pride. For several decades, though, the dynamic personality has hosted Capital Pride, Trans Pride, Youth Pride, Silver Pride, DC Latin X Pride, and DC Black Pride, as I've said, was the first host in 1991. So over several decades, Rayceen has earned a reputation as a renowned presence on the microphone with an unforgettable energy and voice, which delivers both insight and humor. One of the first pioneers to lead the fight to eradicate HIV and AIDS in the Black community. Rayceen is highly recognized by the mayor of DC and other prominent community leaders, and in 2017 was a finalist in the Mayor's Arts Award for Excellence in Humanities. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the He Said, He Said, He Said stage, Rayceen Pendarvis.
Bam! Bam! Greetings and salutations. Oh, honey. Oh, I'm so grateful to be here. Thank you all for inviting me. My heart is full.
Well, thank you.
It's good to see you. Good to have you here.
Good to be seen and not viewed.
Come on now. Come on now. And you know what? So much truth in what you just said, okay? Because people are leaving here every day that you saw yesterday.
How about that?
Hello. Okay.
It's a very short journey when we think about it. And you gotta enjoy the ride while you're here, honey.
Well, do me a favor, Rayceen, and take a minute to tell our viewers who don't know you, who is Rayceen Pendarvis?
Ooh, who am I? I'm a child of the universe. I'm a two-spirit individual. I'm a father of 5, mother of many, grandfather of 2. You figure that out. I'm a native Washingtonian. I am a humble and faithful servant. And, you know, my mother always taught me the greatest gift is to be in service. And that I tend to let that be my calling.
Amen. 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 Oh, ladies and gentlemen, that was Rayceen Pendarvis. Okay. In case you all missed it. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Bosh. I'm sorry. Look, I can be talking about Rayceen all day.
Oh no! I mean, that was just quite the introduction. You mentioned that your grandmother got you involved in service.
My mother,
your mother,
who was a social worker, who was a social worker for 40 years, and I'm so grateful that that you guys saw fit to invite me back last year when you first invited me. I was mourning the loss of my mother, who I was a caretaker for about 20 years, and I lost her around the week of Mother's Day, the weekend of Mother's Day. But she is now one of my ancestors, and I am grateful. I don't have anything to regret. I took care of her every step of the way, so I am really grateful. So everything she poured into me, I pour into my community. So it is because of her I am a better person, and I am grateful, Lord.
Well, what is her name, so that we may know her too?
I will speak her name, Mrs. Mary Chandler Cole. I speak her name.
Right on.
Speak her name. Thank you. And thank you. Oh, go ahead, Bosh. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, well, what was it? How did she teach you? How did she inspire you to do the work you do? Because what you do is not easy and it is not quick. You are spending all of your time in life giving it back to your community. What is it that she did that got you to this point?
She loved me unconditionally. She allowed me to twirl and be who I am, when so many people that are part of our community sometimes do not have the accepting parents that they should. My mother loved on me and let me twirl right through the door, honey, every day of my life. And she was very affirming. And she was a very spiritual woman. My dad was interesting. You know, I always tell my people that my mom was like a cross between Mother Teresa and Maya Angelou, and my father was a cross between G.I. Joe and Rick James. And I don't know how the two of them ended up together, but praise the Lord anyhow. But unfortunately, I lost my dad very, very early. Oh my God. Ooh, very early. But that's all right, because if he would have lived, I would have twirled still in this house, honey, and he would have got over that. But my mom was a social worker, and she worked for a United Planning Organization, which was a big organization that was always heavily vested in community. And I watched my mother go places and do things and be a part of church, community, home, and all of that. Being with her, watching her do and be everything, just was everything she instilled in me. So it just taught me about the importance of being in service. And it's just a great part of my life. I can't see it any other way. You know, it's something I instilled in my children. They instilled in their children, my nieces, my nephew. Everybody knows the importance of service.
I love it. I love it. I mentioned earlier that I wanted people to go to your website in case so that they could learn more about you.
Rayceen.com. That's Rayceen. That's why I'm the queen of the shameless plug. Please follow me on YouTube. That's Queen Rayceen at YouTube. Rayceen. I'm the queen of the shameless. I plug everything. And so, believe it or not, for as long as I've been doing this, and sharing platforms and stages all over the world. I used to never tell people what I would do. I would come in, host the event, and leave.
Mm-hmm.
And get my coin, get my check, long it cleared. I was on my way. But people like Rayceen, you are all these platforms, you on all these stages. You should tell people how to connect with you and tell them what you do and how to connect with you. So, baby, once I ran with it and they called me the queen of the shameless plug, I tell everybody, plug what you're doing. Plug, tell people where you are. Let them know how to reach out to you because I'm team follow back. You follow me on social media. I tweet out every day. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I'm the queen of social media. And believe it or not, 20 years ago, I was on none of those platforms. And now mother's in the house.
and welcome. Okay. Look, I gotta ask you this question. This is a question that is really burning for me, and I want to get your opinion on it. So over the years, how we identify, recognize, and respect the many representations of our community has increased in importance, and rightfully so. What's your view, Rayceen, on how the acronyms are used? LGBT, LGBTQ, LGBTQIA plus. Sometimes people don't know when and how to use them. What's your opinion on that, Rayceen?
I always say when you're unsure, ask the person. If Tim is standing before you and Tim is 6'6" and in a beautiful, beautiful chiffon dress with a full beard, and Tim is saying, "My name is Tim, and my pronouns are them, their, and theirs," then you ask that question if you're unsure. If someone is standing before you and their name is Pat, and they read that they got on overalls and double D's, but if they say I'm Pat, and they say my pronouns are him and them and theirs, so then you have to ask the question, "Hey Pat, my name is," and how do you identify? I'm at the point in my life, I don't care what you call me. Because I tell people, I'm the self-described gender blender. So when I walk in the room, even when I tell people when they say, "Hi, Rayceen, it's such a pleasure to meet you," or if I'm with my kids or nieces and nephews, they'll be like, "Oh, you're on to something," and I correct people all the time. But they will, I read Mother Love, so that's what they give me. So when you read Mother Love, I just take it, because sometimes I'll be in a full conversation with someone. And I'll be telling them it's not, no, I'm a man. You can, yeah, it's all right. You can't offend me. I will tell you it's okay. And if they'll just go and keep saying he and she. So it doesn't bother me. But with some folks, I find the younger generation now, they are very into their pronouns. If they tell you I'm part of the LGBTQIA and I identify as A or Q, please call me that. And I get that. And I understand that every place, everybody needs to feel like they're invited to the table and welcome to the table in that space that we all share. And I always tell people, if you're unsure, ask the question.
Amen. Amen. I received that. Thank you. Thank you very much for that. Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, then, Rayceen, which pronouns do you prefer?
Human.
Or which are your pronouns? Let me ask that question.
My pronouns are human being. I answer to it all, honey. You can say sir, miss. I will answer to it all, but I'm a human being, and that's what I see the world as. I'm a two-spirit person, so I embrace all sides of me. Some days I feel very butchy, and some days I feel super femme. So I just go. I just go with the flow, baby. One minute I'm Rayceen, and the next minute I'm Raymond. So you okay.
Yes.
So
be who you are and own it. Right? Is that the phrase that pays right now?
It is. Embrace all yourself
and own who you are.
Yeah, period. I think people get caught up and miss out on love because we're so caught up in what are these images and these labels and these titles and which is butch and which is femme, and it stops people from finding love, because sometimes the person who will love you the most may not come in the package that you perceive them to come in. They may have been perceived in this package for you for 20 years of looking like LL Cool J, and they might come before you looking like Chandler, and they might be the one who will love you and ride with you and celebrate you, lift you up when you down, and honor you and love you in a way that is unconditional. So folks have to stop with all of what they perceive, these images of what is butch and what is femme, and just be open to the spirit of love.
Amen.
And try new things and be, this world is about living. And if you don't live to your fullness, you miss out on things.
And so many people do. So many people do, Rayceen. Derwin is here tonight, and he said, good evening. Said, gentlemen, thank you very much, Derwin, for being here. And big hello to special guest Rayceen. Look, your fans are on here, sweetheart. Okay.
Yes, indeed. Yes,
I
indeed.
love Darren. He's a sweetheart. I love the gays.
Unequivocally. Well, Rayceen, you're the original founding member of the House of Pendarvis.
Actually, I am one of the originals. I am one of the. Yes, there were several actually, and people don't know Avis Pendarvis actually was born and raised in Washington, D.C., even though she spent many of her later years in New York. And she started one of the original four houses. Crystal started the house. Crystal LaBeija started the House of LaBeija. Her and Miss Lottie started all of the balls. Then it became Dory and Corey, the House of Corey. Then it became Paris Dupree, and then Avis Pendarvis. So, and then Angie Extravaganza that started the house that was primary of those of the Latin persuasion. So those are the founding houses, and then everything else broke off from there. So those are the girls. But Avis grew up with my cousins. Avis was brilliant. She spoke 10 different languages. Wow. She was she was like a wealth of knowledge, and I drew to her because she reminded me so much of my mother. We would talk about books and reading and traveling and seeing the world. I could call her at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and Avis would be up creating and sewing and working for something. If it was a Broadway play, she would be doing something, or she would be involved. And we would talk, and she said, Rayceen, what book did you read today? And I would tell her that, and she said, oh, I love that book, but you need to read this. And we would share our experiences. And actually, the first daughter was Linda Pendarvis, God rest her soul, and then it became Linda, Avis, and several others, Saul, Freddie, Kim, Reese, who was the original father, who was a trans man, who was the original father of the House of Pendarvis. So, and I came aboard, and when I came aboard, I'm one of the founders and icons and, and elders in the community. And I like that. I like that I'm blessed in a way that I can look when I see Pose and Legendary and all of these wonderful books and all of these experiences. See Ballroom is all over the world now. That is because of those people such as myself, such as Avis, Paris, Dorian, Pepper, Crystal, Angie, and all of them who made that way and that platform. And that's so important that we must remember, because of them, we have all these other things and people. And I'm always reminding young people, know your history.
Right.
Know where you came from and know where you're going. And just because you're young, you think you know everything. I thought when I was 22, I was fierce and fabulous and a size 9, and I knew everything too, but I honored my elders.
Right, right.
And young people must do that. And I'm so grateful to share in this experience and be able to create Team Rayceen and all these wonderful things to share with the next generation. One of my co-hosts is Krilios, and he is under 30. So, that's a whole dynamic within itself. Yeah. Coming from that world of being under 30 and what it's like being under 30 in 2022. So being able to sit with him and we share experiences. And when it's all said and done, you know, I'm like the Queen Elizabeth. I'm not leaving or giving up my throne just yet. But
No, please don't do that. But you know, before we leave this topic, how has the ballroom scene changed mainstream Americans or America's view of our community?
it's an interesting, it's a double-edged sword. It's become so commercialized
Yeah.
that we forget why it was why it was created. You know, trans women and trans men created ballroom, and especially trans women and trans men of color created that because of how they were being treated by the Caucasian community and how they were not being represented and celebrated in their fullness. And then, unfortunately, because of prejudice and racism and sexism, many trans women and trans men could not be accepted. So we had to create a world within our own self. And for the young people, many of them were being put out their houses, and they would find ballroom and find someone would take them in. You know, Avis, one thing Avis, this is what I loved about Avis. She always stressed, you don't really have to walk a ball, but you have to stay in school. And she made sure if you wanted to do something, she would connect you. She had a resource and a wealth of just amazing people that she was connected in community. So she made sure if you wanted to go to college, where you want to go? You want to go to FIT? Let me call somebody at FIT and get you an FIT. You want to go to Columbia? If you want to go to Howard, let me make a few calls and get you in Howard. And you don't have the money, we're going to find a scholarship for you. Yeah. So that's what I loved about Avis and so many of her wonderful counterparts from that era, that they made sure education was that they stressed education. You know, you can be pretty, but being pretty and dumb ain't enough.
No, not at all.
Rayceen, I'm torn between two things. I want to know what category did you do in ballroom?
Oh, child, let me tell you. Oh my Lord, let me tell you. Oh my God, when I started walking, because I was such a gender blender, I would walk big boy runway, and then at one point they didn't know where to put me because they were like, "Well, Rayceen, I'm confused. Are you a femme queen?" So then it was so confusing. Then I created a category called fag out, which I created that category for sissies like myself, you know, sissies who carry a pocketbook, wear their hair, grow their hair, if they have braids, ponytails, bobs, you know, and they shaking it and bopping it, honey. It was given gender blenders needed to express themselves. So I created that category. And then it kind of took a kind of just took it grew legs, and then it did something, and then it evolved to something else. But then I would start walking big girl runways effect. I would watch Butch Queen and Drag from time to time, but they told me because I was so real and soft and supple that I couldn't walk that anymore. So I would walk big girl runway effect, darling, and I would slay it, darling. I would say my nemesis was this fabulous Erica Revlon. She would always win, and that's when you would win first and grand. It was a first grand prize and first prize. She would always set me down. She would always get grand. I would always get first. I studied her and I watched her and I listened to Avis. One time she came to DC and I was ready for her, darling. She was sashaying and she was turning it. I said, "Oh, bitch, I'm ready for you, honey." I changed, and they used to call it peeling on the runway. So people would come out one outfit, switch the coat would be reversible. You would drop another coat, you would throw around another coat, you would bring some feathers around you, and then when they removed the feathers, you would have on an evening gown and all of this and that. I peeled about 4 times on her ass. So needless to say, when I finished, they put the trophy in my hands. I said, "Thank you very much." And I turned to her and I hugged her because we had a camaraderie that was full of love. And I said to her, "Sister, I was ready for you." And she would say, "I see." and then we just had that kind of love. And that's the kind of ballroom that we came from. Yeah. You know, and of course, ballroom wasn't always fair. People would do stuff for their girlfriends and throw a little shade. That's where the shade comes in, because the shade is thick and real. But you know, this community unfortunately, what the generation after me, sometimes it'll get a little upset and turn tables over and we'll kick out things and want to fight them. Which the girls will always do sometimes was you got to pick and choose your battles. Life ain't going to be fair. Life going to beat you down. So one thing about ballroom, it teaches you that, baby, you better take your arrows, your bows, your bricks, and your bottles. Because if you can take it here, you can take it anywhere.
You can take it anywhere. All right.
The other question I wanted to ask you, because you bring up the trans man, trans woman thing. What is the difference, in your opinion, between sex and gender?
Oh, Lord. Sex and gender. Oh, child, y'all hit me with a deep question. I think for some people, speaking for self, because the children come for you, honey. And speaking for sex, I believe with gender, it's how you identify. You may not be born one particular gender medically, you may be born a male, but may identify as a female. And everything about you may identify. So I think it's gender is how you identify. With sex, I think it's how you feel. Sex or sensuality or sexuality is a feeling. Sex, some people love sex. Some people thrive off of sex. Some people are sex positive and they're going to have sex and sleep with everybody till the day they die. And that's them. And they love it and they celebrate and they walk in their freedom because everybody has a Samantha as a part of their a bunch of Sex in the City. You always got a Samantha. And then on the other end, you got someone who is very prune and poonish, or someone who is very like Charlotte, who's not really into sex, but is into love. So it's how people identify with gender and how you feel about sex or how that feeling is for you of feeling empowered, feeling liberated, feeling sensual, because there's some people who are not sexual beings. Some people don't walk in sexuality. Some people are just happy holding hands and cuddling and into intimacy opposed to sex.
Right on. Okay.
Okay.
I mean, I see sex as being body parts and gender as being what you were saying, how you identify. So I appreciate, yes, I appreciate your answer wholeheartedly.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Well,
yeah, you gave me a lot to think about, though. You gave me a lot to think about. It was good.
I did, didn't I?
So, Rayceen, now I've alluded in my introduction about how respected you are and some of the walks that you have made. I want to talk about just over the last 3 years and how I saw how involved you were with the Black Lives Matter movement. And I want to know, do you feel that the Black gay community played a part in the Black Lives Matter movement overall?
Well, 2 lesbian women started it, so you can't deny it, baby. We are here. In the movement, baby. We were. If we go back, look at Baynard Rustin. Did the March on Washington because he was an openly gay man. They told him it wasn't a good idea, but in his brilliant self, he realized that it was more important for him to step back, that the movement was more important than him being who he was, saying, I gotta be free and proud. He didn't need to do that. He walked in it every day. So he walked in it every day. He was authentic in himself, but he realized the importance of the movement. The movement was more important than having it overshadowed about him being an openly Black gay man and the time that he was. But we were fighting for so much. So you think about Black Lives Matter. If you can't have one without the other. All lives matter. Black trans lives matter. All of us matter. We are all. If I'm a person of color, first of all, I walk and I'm authentic in my Blackness.
Come on now.
When I walk into the room, I am good in Black. Let me be clear. That's the first thing you see is the Blackness. And I bring forth my ancestors into the room. I bring forth all of them who come before me. Become after me. Became before me. I bring all of them into the room. I walk into that space authentically Black. Then I am spirit. Then I am mother. Then I am father. Then I am child. Then I am brother. I am sister. I am elder. So I bring all of that when I enter a room. So it being part of the Black Lives Movement, for me, I had to come and be everything. I walked into the spaces authentically who I am. If you invite me, I'm showing up as is. So what you get is what you see, and here I am. So it was a blessing to be honored to be in those, because it reminds me of why we march, why we continue to march, because it's, if one person is not free, we're not free.
Come on. Come on. See, for all of you who are just tuning in, this is Rayceen Pendarvis, the Empress of Pride. And if you don't know, you know now. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Rayceen, thanks for putting it down like that. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Well, Rayceen, for all the accolades and recognitions that you've received, which one are you the most proud of?
You know, you don't do the work for awards or praises or accolades. I do the work because I'm called. I do the work because I'm honoring my mother, my father, my grandmother, my aunts, my uncles. You know, I do that work. I do that work because I'm honoring community first. And you don't do it for the praise or the awards, but when they come, they are a little blessing on the cake. Because let me tell you, sometimes in this community, bricks and bottles come along the way.
Sure.
And sometimes they come from folks who look like you.
Mm,
You know, I've walked into spaces and I've heard and seen things where the shade was real and thick. And sometimes people are not very nice when you're free. And some people say, or they're part of communities, but they're not free. And they hate what is free and liberating in you, because free people, free people. And if you coming in there freeing everybody else and breaking chains, they will sometimes hate that in you. So
isn't that amazing?
yeah, it's amazing. And sometimes you gotta be prepared. So I put my armor on and I get ready when I walk into spaces, and I'm prepared for when the arrows come. But when the praise come up, what is a blessing about all of those awards and accolades? One of the most greatest awards was receiving at the Latex Ball the Angel Award named after Avis Pendarvis. I was very honored for that. That was one of those. And being a Capital Pride hero.
Yeah.
Sharing that stage and being there from, they getting ready to celebrate 50 years. And I remember the very first year they had Capital Pride.
You were the first person to get that award, Rayceen, the Hero Award. Were you not?
No, I got mine from Capital Pride, the Hero Award. It came a couple years ago. It came a couple years ago, and I was honored. There were other people I shared that with, but I was very honored to ride in the parade and feel all fabulous. And because of all the years as an MC and walking in, a lot of times I would share that stage and be on Capital Pride. Before Black Pride, I would be the only person of color on that stage.
Right.
So that was a blessing within itself. And I thank those who opened the door, like Robert York, who knew the importance of people putting and understanding that we have to show two-spirit people and people of color on all stages. That if we're going to be about pride, it needs to be liberating and celebrating, and not just tolerating. You know. So, you know, and I made sure that I always felt comfortable. They made me feel comfortable, and I'm always welcome. And that's why I've earned the monarch, Empress of Pride, because I've been there. I've earned my right. I've seen it all. I took the arrows and the bricks and the bottles and was scared when we would show up. You know, I remember the very first Pride in DC, both of them. And the fear of not knowing when we showed up what it was going to be like. But then when you see all of your people in your tribe in them spaces, all you can do is honor spirit and realize that this is greater than us. It's because of people like Marsha P. Johnson, Silva Rivera, Stormy, Harvey Milk, Sylvester. All of them made it so that we would have these things.
Well, Rayceen, I know we're getting close to the end of our interview because, ladies and gentlemen, we got a part 2 with Rayceen tonight. Rayceen is here with us all night, by the way. But I want to ask you, or have you tell our viewers, because on Thursday, June the 30th, you're going to be one of the hosts for an event right here in DC. with the mayor at the
District of
Lincoln
Pride,
Theater.
District of Pride with the mayor's LGBT office. Please go to racine.com to register. Register for free. The tickets are free. If you go to racine.com, that's RAYCEEN, to register and get your tickets. Our wonderful headliner is Candace Dillard from the Real Housewives of Potomac. So I'm really honored. We have Bumper. We have Banu Bird. Banu Bird is an out, open, proud lesbian rapper who I was honored to be in her music video. So I was really honored to be in her music video called Undress. Please go to YouTube and watch that. Gigi Holiday, burlesque queen of the universe, is up there. We have Betty, oh hell no. I mean, it's just DC Drummers is going to be there, and they've prepared an amazing production. So we have all of these wonderful people. Micah the poet is going to be there, this award-winning poet. So we have a lot of people. I hope I covered everybody, because if I missed somebody, they're going to read later, but I'm sorry. I was having a Golden Girls moment. So
I think you did.
I can't remember everybody.
I think you did pretty well, because I have 2 tickets. I got my 2 tickets already. So, and I read the lineup, and I was like, how is Rayceen remembering all these names? But no, I think you covered everything. But
and
like
Critios is our announcer, and Team Rayceen is partnered up with the mayor to be a part of this. So I'm really honored. I've been a host for a few times, but partnering up with Team Rayceen Productions, once after 10 years of having the Ask Rayceen show, and we ended it at HRC, but we had many places we called home. But it was a wonderful, safe space. It was an amazing experience. But ending it after 2 years and formulating and strategizing with my team and creating Team Rayceen Production to partner up all over the world with different entities has been a blessing. And it's just grown bigger and better than what I've ever can imagine.
Well, it's happening. It is definitely happening. Vash, would you like to you have asked Rayceen another question before we head out tonight?
The last thing I really wanted to talk to you about, you kind of just talked about, like the Ask Rayceen show. I really did want to know what impact did that have on the community, and what moment were you most proud of?
Every time people came was the greatest moment of being proud. To be able to bring vendors in a space that was free for everybody, and to be able to showcase vendors and give them the opportunity to make money and not charge them anything, where sometimes they charge $200 and $300 to come to a place, and then where sometimes they don't make it back. But to be able to have artists and designers and politicians and poets and singers and international artists like Silver Logan Sharp, Carolyn Malachi, Roz White, Deborah Bond, and politicians, Robert White, Anita Bond, all of them come in that space and share it with us. Yeah, it was amazing.
Wow. Well, Rayceen, I'm gonna ask you this last question before we go into our special segment with you. If you had a magic wand and could create the perfect world, what 3 things would be in it?
No racism. Everyone would be loved. Everyone would be wealthy.
And so it is. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, please, I can't see you, but I need you to give our special guest a huge round of applause. Rayceen Pendarvis.
Oh,
thank you so much for blessing us and answering our questions tonight. Thank
you for inviting me. I'm so honored. And I say this with all honesty. When you reached out to me the very first time, I was so broken. But when you reached out, you lifted my spirit, because I was in a very broken place after losing my mom. And I just couldn't find the strength to jump into anything. And I said, please come back to me. And when you did, I was so grateful, and I was so honored, because sometimes, we can get in our feelings when things don't always work out. And sometimes you feel like people are being shady when they can't be a part of something. But I'm grateful that you guys saw fit. You, Norman, Vash, all of you. He said, and made sure that I was here today on Pride Month. So what a joy.
Well, I'm telling you, the universe did it. And see, you spoke on some things that I'm just going to receive, because sometimes you don't have to speak on things sometimes, because you said some things that if I say what's in my head, I'm a shade somebody, which I'm not going to do that. But I appreciate you giving me that credit for coming back to you, because it wasn't the time at that time. And I was there for you then, and I'm here for you now, sweetheart. So
Thank you.
We had
thank
nothing
you.
but love for you. We had nothing but love for you
Nothing
during
but
that
love.
entire time, right? You
But-
weren't able to make it. We're like, that's okay. We're going to keep trying. It's going to happen.
Mhm.
So always, I hope you feel it. I hope you feel it right now.
I feel it. I feel the love, child. I'm enjoying this conversation, child.
Well, okay, and we hope that continues, because
Yes.
tonight, for our second segment with Rayceen, everybody, we're doing a special segment of the show called Who Sang That? And we are paying homage to Rayceen has a show on a Music Monday segment on the show, and we just wanted to pay homage to that. We want our viewers to participate too. We're going to give you 2 lines of a song, and we're going to give you 3 possible artists who sung it. And when we figure out who it is, Bosh and I decided to use our vocal abilities with Rayceen and sing the song and the chorus. How about that?
How about that? Oh, I love it.
Well, I think we lead up to the chorus, but well, who knows? Who knows? We're going to work it out. We're going to work it out. So everybody ready to play? So at home, you want to put your answers down.
I'm going to have to sing.
And get them ready to send in. There's going to be 4 songs. Each song will have a letter answer. When all 4 songs are done, send in your answer. All right, and then we'll give you the answers. But let's start off. You ready?
I'm ready.
Song number 1. Here's the first. I can't figure out just what to do when the cause and cure is you. Now, is that the Temptations, the OJs, or SWV?
I can't figure out just what to do.
I already know who that is, baby.
Well,
I already know who that is, baby.
Rayceen, who is it, Rayceen?
Oh, it's SWV. I can't figure out what to do. You. I get so weak. I lose control. Take hold.
Yes, you got it.
Yes.
Wait a minute. Judy got it too. Thank you, Judy.
Yes,
look at Judy. All right, Judy.
That's the plan. All right. We don't even have to wait to the end now. When you guys get it, each song, you send in what your answers are. All right, song number 2.
Okay. When we get home, darling, and it's nice and dark, and the music's in Vienna. And the choices are Luther Vandross, Sylvester, or Freddie Jackson. I'll say it again. When we get home, darling, and it's nice and dark.
If you sing the line, I think I could get it.
Alvin can sing it. Go ahead, Alvin. Sing it.
When we get home, darling, and it's nice and dark, and the music's in Vienna.
Ooh, that's the best sound. That's the best, honey. Yes, honey.
When we get home, darling, and it's nice and dark, and the music's in Vienna, still you're hot. And you kiss me back, and it feels real good. And I know you love me like you should. You make me feel mighty real. You make me feel mighty real. Right. Thank you. Look at John Avery. John Avery said,
yes, and if you sing it, folks will know it.
All right.
Okay.
Song number 3. Alvin, you're getting love for your voice too. People saying sing it. All right. Song number 3. Go ahead, Alvin.
Your heart has called me closer to you. Mm-hmm. Your heart has called me closer to you. And is number 2 there?
I will be all that you
I
need.
will be all that you need and trust.
Sing it.
Sure. Good. Sing it.
And hold on. And the
Choices are A,
Anita Baker,
B,
Olita
Olita Adams.
Adams, or Angela Bofield. Now I got to get into my spirit.
Right,
Yes.
get into your spirit.
Okay, your heart is called and call me close to you and trust. It's what you're feeling. You never leave because I believe in this love. Oh, your
Okay,
heart.
I know who it is. I know who it is.
It is Sweet Love by Anita Baker.
Yes, yes, it is Anita Baker.
Oh, wait a minute. Judy wants me to sing it. Judy, see, a live show, it went out of my ear. Your heart is calling me closer, and I will be all that you need and trust. Is that what you're feeling? Never leave. Because, baby, I believe. Now, Judy, you want me to hit a note that I'm not ready to do. I didn't. So
Well,
I'm going to leave it. It's Anita Baker, Sweet Love.
It's Anita Baker. We're going to move on to song number 4. This is the last song, everybody.
Oh, I'm loving it.
I like the way you make me feel about you, baby. Want the whole wide world to see. The choices are Stevie Wonder, The Emotions, or The Jones Girls.
Oh, I know that, honey.
It's about me, baby. Want the whole world to see. Whoa, whoa. Got the best of my love. Whoa,
It's the Emotions.
Yes,
honey.
The Emotions.
It is ready and the wine is chill. My baby's coming over because I don't know how to feel.
So we got the answers for everybody. Song number 1, SWV. Song number 2 is definitely Sylvester. Song 3, Anita Baker.
Oh, we have John on with us. John, the music.
John Avery's here. That's right.
And
hey,
The
John.
Emotions. So well done, everybody.
Thank you, Rayceen, for helping us with our brand new segment.
I love that. I love that. Y'all also need to do stuff like or for the new segment, who recorded it first?
It almost became that. It almost became that.
Because people, when people hear All the Man I Got, people think that Whitney recorded it first, but it was really recorded by Linda Clifford first.
Mm-hmm.
Then it was recorded as a duet by Sister Sledge featuring Kathy Sledge and David Simmons.
Right.
And then it was re-recorded by Whitney Houston, made it famous. You Bring Me Joy on Anita's second album was originally recorded by Aretha on Norman Connors' album. You Bring Me Joy when I'm down. That was recorded by Aretha first. And then she made it popular. But she also made a couple of songs on it popular that were also recorded first by Dionne Warwick.
Look at you, okay?
Well, look, we may have to do that.
Yeah, do that. Because this song, I'm telling you, when it's like, when I do Music Monday, sometimes that people will call out, I'll be like, I'm not looking for that one. I'm looking for the better other one. But some people make it more, but like Whitney Houston, Saving All My Love was originally recorded by Marilyn Cool and Billy Davis.
That's right.
Beautiful version. Because Marilyn Cool can sing anything.
And I'll Always Love You was from Best Little Whorehouse in Texas by Dolly Parton.
Yes.
Right. So, and Luther Vandross's This House Is Not a Home is originally sang by the Carpenters and Burt Bacharach. So yeah, we could do that. Well, first of all, a lot of people have said they had a good time with the show.
Rayceen,
well, good. People had a good time.
You are
Judy has said that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, Judy has said that she would. Rayceen, you want us to do a game where we do Who Sang It First? Judy is asking us to do movie reviews. So
call me back. Have me back. I love a good movie. I'm a queen of a movie, honey. We need to do gay movies, honey.
Okay.
Now, classic gay movies that if you don't know these films, you have to turn your card in.
Give it up.
Look, we have to have you back and do that for real.
Oh, I loved it.
We absolutely must do that. And John, we love y'all. We love you too, man. Thank you for tuning in. Your support means everything to Vash and I.
Oh,
Rayceen.
thank y'all so much. Oh my God. Happy Pride to you guys. Thank you so much for having me. Please follow me at rayceen.com. Team Rayceen on YouTube. That's why I'm the queen of the shameless plugs. And if you're in DMV, come out. There's a wonderful, amazing documentary that I'm a part of next week at Martin Luther King Library called Black Rainbow Love that celebrates Black queer love. All kinds of love. So it's free at Martin Luther King Library. So follow that Black Rainbow Love. You know, I'm gonna plug everything. District of Pride.
You go ahead and plug it. You go ahead
I'm
and
plugging
plug it.
everything. Follow me. But once you go to rayceen.com, it connects you to everything I'm doing.
What I love about your shameless plug,
thank you,
Rayceen,
my beloved. Thank you. And
you have a vocal change when you do your shameless plug, and I love it.
Thank you. Yes, of
It's
course
like-
I do. You gotta change it up. But thank y'all so much for having me. And you know what can I leave you in pride?
Well, hold on. We got something that we prepared for you.
What did y'all prepare for me?
Because next week,
y'all prepare for. Don't make me cry.
Next week is our June 17th show. It is my birthday show. I'm just saying it's my birthday show in case you all want to tune in and say happy birthday to me. You can definitely do that. But we're going to leave you with our words of the week. And that we always give you powerful words from different people. Well, tonight our words of the week is from none other than Rayceen Pendarvis. To younger people, know your value. Know that you have a right at the table. You are seen and you matter in this world. There is no one like you. And those words are by Rayceen Pendarvis, our special guest tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my God, child, y'all gonna make me cry, child.
Thank you.
Lord, I thank you. I thank you for fellowshipping, allowing me to sit in fellowship with y'all. This is beautiful.
Well, as Rayceen said, enjoy Pride.
Raj told me early, make sure I look up. So I'm making sure I'm looking up. For my close-up, Mr. Jamil.
Yes.
And thank you to your amazing team, Norman holding it down. Norman is holding it down. Norman is on it with the 5-minute cues and everything. And thank you, because you need that. You need someone to keep you on. Your team is important, and that's why he said, because all of y'all work together.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you, and you do come back Rayceen, and be with us again. I definitely will
be come back because I got a couple special announcements I can't announce yet. They're bubbling. So when I come back when it all comes together, honey. So I got a lot of things on the fire I can't even talk about, baby. Until the ink is dry and the check is clear.
He said be your platform. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we look forward to seeing all of you next week. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you on our next episode of He Said.
He said.
He said.
Y'all have a good night. Take care. Have a great weekend.
Love y'all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy Pride.